Interpreting a script is at the heart of an actor's craft. It is through this process that words on a page are transformed into compelling performances that resonate with audiences. This episode explores the journey of an actor and takes that actor from the first reading of a script to bringing a character to life on stage and screen. It can also mean how we literally hold the script during self-taping or Zoom auditions. Lifting the script on today's episode of Casting Actors Cast.
This is Casting Actors Cast. Jeffrey Dreisbach brings you insights and inspiration. Make a difference in your acting and your acting career. Here's Jeffrey Dreisbach.
Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Casting Actors Cast. My name is Jeffrey Dreisbach, and I'm a casting partner with McCorkle Casting in New York, working on feature films, television, working on Broadway, all kinds of projects going on through our office, and it's really great to have you here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is that moment where I get to say thanks. It's really great having you here. We're doing really well on the Broadway Podcast Network, and I'm just excited to have the support of you being there. Let me also just say I invite you to go to the website if you'd like, castingactorscast, all one word.com. You'll find archived episodes. There's actually a form on the landing page that says dive into the talent pool. If you do that, it opens up a whole bunch of freebies. One is a free book. I mean, absolutely free. It's a downloadable PDF called Conversation Pieces Out of the Studio, the voiceover workshop for professional actors. There's also a free 20-minute video that's exclusive to the YouTube channel. By going to the website, you're going to take a look at it. It's called Casting Secrets, What They Don't Tell You. But guess what? I'm going to tell you in this free 20-minute video. You can find this nowhere else. I also just want to give my thanks to my good friends at Actors Connection, actorsconnection.com/New York. All kinds of classes and seminars and workshops with professionals in the industry. And then finally, I'm excited that the course that I have available for you through Creative Coaching Partners, it's called The Art of the Audition. Now you can find the link on the website. It is a paid course, but I think, honestly, it is such a useful tool. It's almost like getting an entire semester's worth of information in a very simple, easy to understand and comprehend course. So you might want to check that out if you're so inclined. I think that does it for all the housekeeping today. So let's move into the subject at hand. So let's take this actor on a journey, shall we? The actor does an initial script reading. And when you get a script and you are the first person to take a look at the script, you're sent the script. Sometimes the script is given to you. The agent says, here, we want you to read this. Whatever it is, there is a process, I think, an initial script reading process that can really benefit you. So, by the way, you can get the podcast notes called Jeff's Jots. You can find that on the website as well. So in case I'm going too fast, because, I always have more caffeine than God ever intended a human being have. And so because I talk fast, you might want to take a look at the Jeff's Jots. I'm just saying it might be an easy way for you to get a hold of the salient, good word, points in our discussion today. So you've been given a script. The first thing, of course, is first impressions. The initial reading of a script is about understanding the story. Keep it simple for yourself. Understanding the story, the themes, the overall tone, the mood of the piece. You should actually read the script without any preconceived notions if you can. Allow the narrative of the story to unfold naturally. Now, the next thing that's going to happen as you're reading your script is you're going to have an emotional reaction. Now, it's important to note the emotional responses elicited during the first read. These gut reactions can provide valuable insights into the character and into the story. Moving on from there, as you are reading the script, or maybe you've read the script, please try to figure out and understand the story arc. How? Focus on the main plot, the main events, and the character arcs. The character arcs are the journey that each individual character is on. Understanding the narrative structure is crucial for identifying key components and the overall journey of the characters. The next phase, the next step that you might want to consider on this journey of script interpreting is character analysis. Who is the character? Who is the character you've been asked to play if you've been given a script to read because they want you to be auditioning, or perhaps you've booked the job? So take a breath, begin with the basics. Simple questions are oftentimes the most beneficial. For example, who is this character? You might want to consider their background. You might want to consider their relationships and their motivations. Now, this involves analyzing the dialogue. It involves analyzing the actions and how other characters perceive them. It's also important, as we move on to the next choice that you have available to you, is background creation. Develop a detailed backstory. Now listen, even if it's not explicitly mentioned in the script, you should know that the backstory helps ground the character's actions and choices in a very believable context. Moving on from there, this is number 3, objectives and motivations. Identify the character's objectives. In other words, what they want, and their motivations, why they want it. This understanding drives their actions and decisions throughout the story. Next, relationships. Examine the character's relationships with others. Now, how do these relationships influence their behavior and their choices? Understanding these dynamics is crucial for authentic interactions. All right, now, once that's done, it might be a good idea to break down the script, what we're going to call script analysis. My suggestion is to break the script down into individual scenes. Analyze the purpose of each scene. In other words, why did the writer write this scene? You can also discover its impact on the story and the character's role within that individual scene. Now, sometimes the writer simply wants to advance the plot. Sometimes the writer wants to show the dynamics in the relationship. Whatever it is, there is a reason why the writer wrote it. It's up to you to interpret what that is. Next, what I call beat breakdown. Identify beats within each scene. Now, listen, a beat is a unit of action defined by a change in the objective or a change in emotion. This helps in understanding the shifts in the character's behavior and emotions. Next, that old acting word, you've heard this before, subtext. Look for subtext in the underlying meaning behind the dialogue. Now, what is the character really thinking or feeling? Subtext adds depth to the performance, period. If you have a line that's, for example, the line is, "I love you," and you really can't stand that person, how are you going to say, "I love you" convincingly, and yet we also, as an audience, need to know that you don't believe yourself? That's subtext. Then it's also, as we move on from there, to identify key moments. Highlight key moments or turning points for the character. Now, these moments often reveal really crucial aspects of the character's development and are essential to portray convincingly. Moving on from there, building the character. How do you build a character? Well, first take a look physically. Consider how the character moves and uses their body. Physicality includes posture, gestures, and mannerisms, all of which contribute to the character's identity. Another physical aspect is the voice and speech. Develop the character's voice, including pitch and tone and pace. Speech patterns, accents, and diction can reveal so much about the character's background and their personality. And then next, I would suggest taking a look at emotional preparation. Use emotional memory or substitution to connect with the character's feelings. Now, this technique involves recalling personal experiences or imagining scenarios that evoke similar emotions. Now, the rehearsal process. You've done your work, you've analyzed the script, you are now in a rehearsal. First things first, exploration. Use the rehearsal time to experiment with the different interpretations of the character. Try various approaches to scenes and interactions to discover what feels most authentic. Next, consider collaboration. Work closely with the director and other actors. Collaboration can lead to new insights and a deeper understanding of the character and the story. Feedback and adjustment. Be open to feedback and be willing to adjust your performance. Please remember that acting is a dynamic process that involves thorough, continuous refinement and exploration. Bringing the character to life is what it is all about. Now, during performances, this is a tip that I think is extremely useful, and I know you've heard this when you're working on the scene, but when you are in performance, stay present. During performances, stay present and fully engaged in each moment. See, authenticity comes from living the character's experiences in real time, not just reciting lines. Next, consistency. Maintain consistency in the character's behavior, emotions, and physicality throughout the performance. Consistency helps in creating a believable and a relatable character. Next, adapting to different mediums. This is very important, and I know that I've done so many episodes on the difference between stage and screen, but you know what? Understanding the nuances of performance for stage versus screen is, I think, very, very valuable. Please understand that stage acting often requires, and I know I'm going to get some pushback from this, but many times it often requires exaggerations, expressions, lots of physical movement, perhaps. While on screen acting, it focuses much more on subtlety and internalization. There's value in really being clear in terms of the difference, both in your auditions, but also when you've booked the job and you're on the set. All right, now I teased this at the beginning of this podcast, talking about, lifting the script. But a little tip I want to give you in terms of your Zoom and your self-tape. It kind of fits into the title of this podcast, Lifting the Script, but too many times, especially if you're holding your script in a first-round audition, which I suggest you hold your script. The problem is when you hold it down low. Now you're looking down at the words and then looking up at the other character. If you're doing a Zoom audition and you've got a significant other standing 18 inches from you, let's say it's a film or a television audition, the distracted nature of looking down and back up over and over and over, well, you know what? It's like bobbing for apples. Be careful not to do that. My suggestion is that you lift the script. See what I'm doing? Lift the script and hold it close to where the significant other is in your scene. Now it's a matter of adjusting your eyes to the words rather than your whole head, rather than your whole body. Because what happens is you lose a lot of that energy in character by trying to see where your words are when you look down. So it breaks up the pacing and it looks distracting. It feels distracting. So the better choice is to lift the script. Now, what we've been talking about so far is lifting the words off the page. That's another way of lifting the script. That's interpretation of the script. The lifting I'm talking about is the physical action of holding up your script so that it is in your eye line, so you're not, bobbing for apples. So let's wrap this up. Interpreting a script is it's a meticulous process that it really combines analytical skills, a creative intuition, and requires emotional depth. It is through this intricate work that actors bring characters to life, creating performances that are both compelling and truthful. Listen, by understanding the script, delving deep into character analysis, and continuously refining your craft, transform written words into powerful, memorable performances that resonate with audiences. I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach. This is Casting Actors Cast.